Imagine you're born today. Within seconds, doctors check your heartbeat, nurses make sure you're breathing, and if something goes wrong, modern medicine is ready to help. Now imagine being born 100,000 years ago. No hospital, no doctor, no medicine, just a small tribe, surrounded by danger, freezing winters, hungry predators, and a world where even adults struggled to survive. So here's the question. How did Stone Age parents keep their babies alive? Because somehow, they didn't just survive. They raised enough children to populate the entire planet. And it all started the moment a baby was born. Childbirth in the Stone Age was incredibly dangerous. Today, a complicated birth can often be fixed. Back then, a small problem could become a tragedy. There were no emergency rooms, no surgeries, no ambulances, only experience and the help of the tribe. Because a newborn wasn't just another baby. It was the future of everyone. Every child mattered. Every child increased the tribe's chances of survival. And losing one could be devastating. Once the baby arrived, the challenges were only beginning. There were no cribs, no strollers, no baby monitors, no colorful nurseries. Most of the time, the baby stayed close to its mother. Very close. Ancient mothers often carried their babies everywhere. While gathering food, while traveling, even while working, the baby was almost never alone. In fact, some scientists believe prehistoric babies had more physical contact with their parents than most modern children today. And that constant contact wasn't just comforting. It was survival. Because in the Stone Age, being left alone could be deadly. Then came the next challenge. Food. Today, if a baby is hungry, there are endless options. Formula, baby food, supermarkets. Stone Age parents had none of that. For a young child, the mother was everything. Breastfeeding often lasted much longer than it does today, sometimes for years, because there was no safer alternative, no backup plan. If food became scarce, everyone suffered, including the children, and that was a serious problem, because hunger was common. Some years, food was everywhere. Other years, it wasn't, and survival became much harder. As children grew older, something interesting happened. Their education began, but not in a classroom. Their classroom was the world around them. Every day became a lesson. Children watched adults constantly. How they made tools, how they found food, how they tracked animals, how they survived. Nobody handed them a textbook. Nobody gave them homework. Instead, they learned by watching and copying over and over again. Imagine being 6 years old, and instead of learning math, you're learning which berries can kill you, which animal tracks are dangerous, and which sounds in the forest mean trouble. One mistake could have real consequences. So children learned quickly, very quickly, because survival rewarded attention and punished carelessness. As they got older, the training became more serious. Boys and girls practiced important skills from an early age. Throwing stones, using small wooden spears, finding animal tracks, building shelters, starting fires. Everything they learned had one purpose: survival, because one day they would need those skills for real, and that day often came sooner than you might think. Eventually, many children joined their first hunt, not necessarily for a mammoth, maybe a rabbit, maybe a small deer, but it was still a major moment, because it meant they were growing up. They were becoming useful members of the tribe, contributors, not just dependents. And every successful hunt increased their confidence and their chances of surviving adulthood. But perhaps the most important lesson wasn't hunting, or fire making, or tool building. It was cooperation, because humans didn't survive the Ice Age alone. No single person was strong enough. No single person was fast enough. No single person was smart enough. What made humans different was teamwork, sharing food, protecting children, helping the injured, working together. That was the real survival strategy. And it worked, better than anyone could have imagined. Today, children go to school, play video games, watch cartoons, and scroll through smartphones. But thousands of years ago, children of the same age were learning how to survive in one of the harshest environments in human history. And only a few years later, Many were already helping feed their tribe. It's hard to imagine, but that's the world our ancestors lived in. A world where childhood looked completely different. A world where every lesson mattered. Because every lesson could mean the difference between life and death. And maybe that's the reason you're here today. Because our ancestors didn't just raise children. They raised survivors.